Greetings, fellow traders. Bob here, and time for the Lunchtime Market Update for Monday, September the 20th, 2021. I hope everybody is having a great trading day today. It's brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. All right, let's see where we're at the market here today. Woo! Look at that monthly chart here on SPX, guys. It is currently looking like a bearish engulfing month. Of course, the month isn't over yet, but wow, that would be an interesting way to start pretty much a market top, right? So there's always that, right? Like we said, the monthly chart, we wait to see how the month closes, right? If it turns red, if it's red and we get follow through the downside, then we often see more downside follow through, right? Otherwise, it's red and it just chops for a little bit and continues to work its way up, right? So we'll see how it goes there. Again, really cool stuff right here, guys, from the bearish evening star reversal pattern that we pointed out on the weekly chart a couple weeks ago, and we got a little bit of follow through last week, and today we got down to the mid Bollinger Band here on the weekly chart, and now the weekly chart is below the minus 100 territory, which kind of puts us a little bit into the scary territory, right? So let's see how it holds these levels right here, but definitely an interesting area. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Big gap down here this morning. We talked about this last night. We talked about just how before the Corona crash, right before the option expiration, we gapped down and we had a red candle there. Now we've got a big red candle under here, and there's plenty of room here to the bottom of the cloud, and below the cloud there's room to the 200-day moving average, right? So we definitely want to keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at the SPY and see how the volume is coming in here. So SPY, pretty decent volume here for a Monday, right? So it looks like it's here kind of around noontime. It looks like we could even compete with the OPEX volume day, and that would be very interesting if we have a big red candle. That could be a huge change of composure, and who knows what other story is going to come out there. This morning it was the China debt news, right? So I mean, there's always negative news out there, and just when the market is red, right, the negative news looks worse, right? So than it normally is. So we got that going on. Let's take a look at the S&P futures here and see. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys we need to look at the wave count here on SPX. So SPX, guys, one of the big things that we looked at going in today was the possibility for a wave 3 down, right? And so we looked at this as a leading diagonal down, ABC up, and then the gap down here pretty much confirmed to us that we'd be looking at a wave 3 move, and we are seeing some downside follow through on that. Well, we took out at some major levels right here, right? And so that's a big deal, right? So this is only the first leg potentially of wave 3, right? And then we might see a pullback and then back down again. So looking pretty rough, right? And also considering too, we're in a downtrend, right? So it started on Friday, right? We confirmed below the, this is why these trend lines and these trend boxes are so powerful. We confirmed below the macro trend line bottom with increased volume on the SPY, and look at the follow through we got, right? So that was the trend shift, and here's your follow through already. So again, we are bearish until proven otherwise, and even now you can actually put a bump line on this one, right? So there's this that the S&P is going to need to get above. So we don't need this trend box anymore. You guys have seen it, and we are downtrend now. There's your bump line, and here's your main macro downward trend line. So bearish until proven otherwise. Let's say with the S&P futures, obviously a big move down here as well. So with the intraday price action again, it's all about these levels right here. We talked about here if we lost the overnight low, we got some clear air here to get to the next VPOC below. So we're seeing some nice downside action here today. We pointed out a few short opportunities in the group today. There was a lot of choppy price action, and then we finally got a little more downside action once we lost the recent pivot lows. MES, same thing. Let's do the Qs. Again, some more downside follow through here on this. We're seeing some heavy downside action, right? We've got Amazon is down. There's a few chart requests out there. Amazon down 118 points today, right? So a big down move on Amazon, and a lot of bearish price action across the board, especially in tech. The IWM was getting a little tight right there, and that ended up breaking down out of the triangle for a nice move there. Let's take a look at the XLF. Again, banks pretty weak today, weighing heavy on the market. The VIX, looking pretty strong here so far today. It's testing the pre-market high, so let's see if we can get and stay above those. Let's take a look at Apple. Again, breaking down nicely here. We just pointed this out in the group. We pointed out a little bit earlier in the private Twitter, so and the public Twitter, so a nice move there. Tesla just kind of chopping around, so that's kind of what we have here. Let's take a look at some requests. Of course, we have Bitcoin on the radar down 3,000. Again, guys, I told you when I was out of this one a while ago, and we're looking at the bear flag. Couldn't get over the macro upper trend line. Broke down below the bear flag right here, and now testing the 50-day moving average and the 200-day. So some interesting stuff going on there. Let's take a look at BABA. BABA is trying to hold on to 150, right? So let's see if we can do that. If not, look out below. So that's looking pretty interesting. SPCE with an inside day here so far, despite their generally positive news over the weekend. Amazon, look at that candle right there. That's a big breakdown candle on this one. Look at that, finally taking out some prior levels. And we talked about this one this morning in the live stream, that if we got under this gamma flip level, that things could start to get a little bit dicey there for Amazon. So seeing some nice action on that one. Boeing, guys, we pointed this one out here in the public Twitter. Gave a nice intraday triangle move right here, and still breaking down out of that. So a nice move there on Boeing. JP Morgan, again, one of the banks out there just kind of drifting its way down here today. And Netflix starting to get some negative price action. This is one of the weakest names at the open today, and it's now negative gamma here below 575. So that is very interesting here for Netflix. This one had relative strength on Friday, and it's not so strong here today. It lost a couple of major levels right here. You can see there's a little bit of support right there, and we're breaking down below there. So let's see what kind of volume we get there today. Other than that, guys, great request. Really appreciate everybody for that. Again, obviously we're leaning a little bit bearish here, so we'll see how that goes if the bearishness continues. If the bearishness does continue into Wednesday into the Fed, there's a high probability too that Powell will, no matter what he says, is going to add fuel to the fire. I mean, he would have to say something amazing like lowering rates, never taper, QE forever, blah blah blah. But doubtful. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, guys, good stuff. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys at the market wrap. Till then, stay healthy out there. Remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game.